Hello, good morning. Good morning, all. So, before we go into the daily commentary, news commentary, I would like to discuss a few things. We'll be doing this news commentary from September till January. September we started out through our audio commentary in Telegram, and we shifted to YouTube to reach as the reach increased. So quite a few months have passed through. So we have done few things. I think I've helped some of you, in understanding the one of the crucial part of UPSc preparation. That's current affairs. Now this has come to a point where two perspectives has occurred. One thing is that I think we are reasonably equipped to understand news commentary to read news in your own ways without even the help of news commentary. So obviously some of them has thanked me and let me know like they are doing it on their own, and thanks for my initial advice. So I encourage them that's the way to go ahead, because eventually this is not a spoon feeding session. You have to read it on your own. So that's one suggestion I have with respect to that. And secondly, even my timetable has also been getting rather കുറച്ചും കൂടെ തിരക്കാവുന്നു, അതുപോലെ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ അൺപ്രഡിക്റ്റബിൾ ആവുന്നു, അങ്ങനത്തെ ഇഷ്യൂസ് ഉണ്ടായി. സോ ഈവൻ ലാസ്റ്റ് വീക്ക് when I went to state Palace Civil Service Academy, I was not able to take the session. Yesterday I was not able to take the session. So because of my teaching assignments and few things at Lead IAS, then Pala Academy, and the programs like Mainscraft that I'm running, all these coming together, even I am finding little difficult to find time. സോ ഇതിനകത്തൊരു പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമുക്കൊരു 9 മണി സമയത്തിനുള്ളിൽ ഇതിൽ അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ ദാറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ഈവൻ ഹെൽപ്ഫുൾ ഫോർ യു ഗൈസ് ടു, അല്ലേ? സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് that brings me to a thought whether it's time to call it a day for daily news commentary, and I think so. അല്ലേ, നമുക്കിപ്പം even some of you most of you who are listening to me even today, I know like you are able to read this newspaper on your own. So I think I should let you do that on your own. എന്നാൽ മാത്രമേ ഇതിനകത്തൊരു കാര്യമുള്ളൂ. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മളൊരു ന്യൂസ് കമൻട്രിയിലോ ഒരു വെബ്സൈറ്റിലോ ഒന്നും കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻ്റ് ആകുന്നതിൽ കാര്യമില്ല. ഐ തിങ്ക് യു ക്യാൻ ഡു ദിസ് വർക്ക് ഓൺ യുവർ ഓൺ. യു ആർ നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ 3-4 മാസമായിട്ട് ഈ ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. നിങ്ങളുടെ ആ ഒരു ഹിഞ്ച് ഫീലിംഗ്, നിങ്ങളുടെ ഗട്ട് ഫീലിംഗ് ടു ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ important topic would be sharper now. So you can do that on your own, and because of the time limitations, otherwise I would have happy to do that. So I think this will be our last day on daily news commentary, and so it was really fun and learning experience to do this, and we'll do this for one last day. It's January 19th, and let's see what are the news that are there. So debate on hunger, center says something, but for us the important thing is that you have to understand what hunger is. So I hope you have do this 4 or 5 months, you would be having a note on hunger. So that's the essential part of this process, at least, right? So that we have to make a proper note on the subjects that you see. So over 5 or 6 or 7 or 1 year, 7 months or 1 year, when you are doing this process daily, you are making notes, eventually you will cover everything that is important from a GS perspective, at least from current affairs and GS 2 and 3 perspective. So that's very necessary. We should be doing that, and that's going to decide how well prepared we are, right? So small one about Enforcement Directorate, understand what Enforcement Directorate is. Then going into the different articles in the editorial page, I have a few on inflation. So look at what is inflation is. We know that. So now what you have to do is that look for the different concepts with respect to inflation. So here it is mentioned bond yields are increasing. Now what is the correlation between inflation and bond yields? You must check that do you know this answer. You must be knowing this answer. If not, please take your books and revise the conceptual part. Okay, so that is very necessary. Then the Silver Line project, this news has been in news for in national discussion for a while now. So something you can identify is that this is a context that you are provided with. But the issue is what? Development vs environment. So that is the context that you have to study. It is very significant in topics like GS3, GS3 environment, GS3 economics, governance, all this area. This debate is very significant. So UPSC can either ask this debate directly, development vs environment, or it can use the context of Silver Line project. So if this is asked, you have to basically do it in a, you have to thoroughly do this exercise of development vs environment note making, and in that note include whatever is necessary, all that thing that is necessary. You should have a pre-prepared introduction, you should have a pre-prepared conclusion, a set of facts, examples, case studies, everything should be ready, right? Then when the question comes in, you will be able to cash in, because everyone would be able to write this in a good way, but if you are doing it in a great way, you will fetch more marks. Silver Line project, understand 4 or 5 points, that's enough for that. Even if a question is specifically on Silver Line, with 4 or 5 points you can manage that. Okay. Then the issues in Yemen, Houthi rebels, and we'll have a note in the last page too, so we'll wait till that point. Then the drone attacks, you can talk about the new gen warfare and its impact on India. We had seen few drone attacks in India's case to in Jammu and Kashmir. So read on that. What can we do about such low cost technologies that are being used by terrorists these days? See that. Then as we move on, like it's more of a political news these days. Elections are on the way. Another news is marital rape and gender neutral laws. Now these two topics have been in discussion for long, and I just got the public imagination and attention now, especially gender neutral laws. So going forward, this would be the future, and the debate has reached a threshold point. So even UPSC can put a question from this perspective, like since it is more popular, UPSC can ask for your point of views on this particular issue, gender neutral laws, probable question in society or in ethics. So read on this gender neutral laws, how it should be brought in, why it should be brought in, how it can be brought in, what are the hurdles or challenges involved in bringing in gender neutral laws. So those kind of things. Marital rape may not be a specific question, but it can include it's a strong important dimension in the topic of abuses suffered by women, both domestically and in workspace. So domestic case, you can always talk about marital rape as a heinous crime. NCW, understand details of NCW, please get that. Similarly, there was a question on the efficacy of these kind of bodies, national commissions, how effective they are in ensuring human rights. So that aspect also need to be mentioned. ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ തന്നെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, so you have to prepare it again. Question can be repeated. Rising sea levels prompt Indonesia to relocate capital, so Jakarta to Nusantara. Understand that prelims perspective. So similarly, you can use this as an example of environmental degradation, climate change, sea level case study ആയിട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു ടോപ്പിക് കൂടിയാണ്. Then cyber attack surge as code spurs digital push. It's a report by WEF, good one. I can use this number, so take note of that. Oil prices are rising. OPEC is there. What is OPEC? Now oil prices, what's its impact on Indian economy? Oil prices, Indian economy is very sensitive to oil prices, so understand why that is and how we can attain energy security. Look at the context of energy security at this point of view. Right. Then India extends credit to Sri Lanka, just the continuation of the news we have been seeing, so you already know that, no problem there. Then you have this Houthi attack on United Emirates. You can understand who they are and what are the issues, what led to Houthis rise, and Saudi and UAE, but mostly these two will suffice. You can understand that the Saudi and UAE is on the other side of the the issue. That much needs to be understood, fair enough. Then proposed steel plant in Odisha, understand this issue again, environment vs development issue, or people vs So this can be again identified as a point where you can use as case study in some of these topics. So make sure you take a case study out of this. We always used to talk about the Niyamgiri Hills fight by the tribals, right? So another one. On this, I don't think it's supremely important. Just read a few things. That's it. Not more than that. Okay, those are the news that is there. Now I would like to just give you a roadmap. Having this being the last day, just look into prelims 2022. See, there could be two perspectives: who are attempting first or second time, and who hasn't cleared prelims yet, and who are from third attempt onwards. So normally aspirants get frantic about the approaching prelims. They start to be nervous, and then they'll dump everything that is mains and then move on to prelims. Now, as far as the first and second attempts are concerned, if you haven't cleared the prelims yet, it is very much required that you study from February. You give yourself a 4 to 4.5 months of solid time to go through the NCRTs, the static books, the current affairs, everything. Very necessary. So I think you should start from February itself. Prelims explosive. All your time for prelims study. So you can read and practice and then reflect. That is very important. Reflect. Not just read and practice. Do a test and leave it there. That attitude is not going to help. It's not going to make any difference. Maybe you do the test, you will check the marks, you will see how much positives you got, how many negatives you got, what is your rank, and then it's good, you will feel happy, and if it's on the lower side, you will feel frustrated. But then you will skip on reflection. In both cases, if you are the topper or if you are performing not that enough, in both the cases, if you are not reflecting, then that's a waste of time and purpose. Reflect. You should focus more on your questions that you have marked incorrectly, and learn from that, and learn the pattern which you are making, learn the mistakes you are making, and make sure you are not repeating it the next time. Okay, don't repeat it. So this point is applicable even for the third attempt and so forth. Now, if you are the third attempt, and reflect again, if you have studied earnestly for the last few prelims. So if the answer is if you have studied earnestly, you have covered the topics enough, but unfortunately you are not able to clear. Here the difference is that you have read these books enough. Now, if you are going for 4 months of exclusive prelim study, by the time you get to May, you will be left with nothing to study. You will drain your energies off. You will find it boring to read the books again and again, because you would have read enough time in the last 2 attempts. Now again, when you are reading here 3 or 4 times, after 3 or 4 revisions, you will feel like you will not be able to read or revise this book again. So if you start in February and by the time you reach May, if you are left without much energy and inspiration, that will not do any good. You could have waited for 1 more month and then take full advantage of May. So my suggestion is that you start from March here. This is not just bluffing. I did myself this strategy, because in 2018 when I was going for my third attempt, I was not unable to clear the last 2 attempts, and I was under a make or break condition. I was like, if I am not clearing this prelims, I'll move on. But that aside, I didn't do much much different with respect to the time factor. I used my time effectively, but ഞാൻ ഫെബ്രുവരിയിൽ നിന്നോ മാർച്ചിൽ നിന്നോ പഠിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങിയില്ല. As in March half in the current affairs തുടങ്ങി. April onwards I started earnestly studying for prelims. So I was confident that ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ബുക്സിലൂടെ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്, പ്രിലിംസ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ബുക്സിലൂടെ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. So I cannot do more than that. So that realization is very good. February you can use to fine tune your mains prep, and some current affairs you can read for prelims perspective too. So I wouldn't suggest you take up prelims exclusive mode before March. You will be having enough time, given the fact that in the last 2 attempts, if you had studied properly. If not the case, I am not advocating it. But നിങ്ങൾ 2 പ്രാവശ്യം നന്നായിട്ട് പഠിച്ചായിരുന്നു, നിങ്ങളുടെ ബേസിക് ബുക്സ് ഒക്കെ കവർ ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു, പക്ഷേ പ്രിലിംസ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്തില്ല എന്നുള്ളതാണ് സിറ്റുവേഷൻ എങ്കിൽ, you can do this thing. And plus, clearing prelims is combination of few things coming together. It's just the content part. Prelims requires you to have content. Of course, you need to have the skill to do it. You need to have the time management skill to do that on time, and you need to have a strong presence of mind. It's when all these four come together that you will be able to clear this exam, because content obviously needed, skill, if you don't have skill you will not be able to solve those difficult questions which forms the about 60% of the paper, medium to difficult paper questions. Time management, so many aspirants, it's heartbreaking to see so many good aspirants who have scored good marks in whatever the questions they have attempted miss out because they were not able to complete the paper because of time management. So time management is very necessary. People does not focus on this enough. People focus on content all the time. Content is needed, but so are the other four factors. Presence of mind, UPSC is going to throw something at you. 2020 it was like a lot of agriculture. Last year there was like nothing specific about that, but so maybe in 2022 they are going to throw something new at you. So at that point of time you should keep your presence of mind should be എന്താണ് നമ്മൾ പതറിപ്പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പോയി. Plus CSAT, all these are applicable for CSAT, but CSAT on its own has become a major issue these days. So if you have all these four, you can be assured you will more often than not you will clear the exam 80%, 90%. But you need to have all these four skills properly practiced. That's the crux about clearing prelims. Believe me on that. Okay, you can work on this. Enough time is there. Make a solid attempt and make yourself proud by clearing prelims, then mains, and of course then into the rank list. Okay, so very happy to have helped you, like പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും ഫസ്റ്റ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റേഴ്സിനൊക്കെയാണ് എൻ്റെ കമൻട്രി കുറേ കൂടെ യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആയെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. So very happy to have contributed to your preparation at this point of time. So if you have any doubts or anything, I'll be more than happy to help you out again. So I'll be doing coming back to prelims and doing I started by doing that YouTube video on prelims clearing, 15 days to prelims, right? So I'll be doing similar videos on prelims. If you have any doubts, queries, please put in. I'll take up that in the YouTube section. All right, so that's it. Have a good day. Thank you.